Hello world, welcome to the 252nd climate change emergency protest here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I'm out here on my favorite place, which is Gettysburg Battlefield. And this is number 252. Next week will be number 253. Talking a little offbeat about stuff right now. It's called Grievances. And the Civil War was one of those things where one side had a grievance against the other and the other side had a grievance against the other. And it came down to states' rights and slavery and things like that. And it was ridiculous. I mean, the idea that one person could own another person is an insane idea. And it all came down to whether their economy could keep going if they got to other means of production other than having slaves. And yeah, they went on. Everything's fine now. So you don't need slavery, things like that. And this was a grievance that looked intractable, required some 500,000 lives to pay the price for that. And rather than clear-headed thinking and moving ahead, and rather than sinking all those resources and lives into it, they could have just come to the idea that what we're doing is the wrong thing. But nope, grievances, each side drew its own parallel as to what they thought was right, and the other side thought what they thought was right, and it came down to life and death, literally, and the destruction of an economy. So right now our countries throughout the world are at odds with each other. You got Canada fighting Israel, verbally, and then you got the United States at odds with everybody, it seems like, and then everybody else at odds with the United States, and we're looked upon as a bully, maybe so, maybe right, maybe not. And then the other countries need our help, and then we want to give the help, but we want, hooks with that and everything. This whole system is messed up. Rather than trying to help each other, there's more than enough to go around for everybody. We need a different way of thinking. We need to get out of this idea of grievances against other countries and things like that. We're literally going to die of climate change. Whether it's, as I'm thinking, in 3 years, 2026, 2027, we're going to have trouble surviving, or whether it's 2036. The end is the same. In the geological time, this is a blip, real fast. But we got to get out of this grievance idea of one side versus the other, or they're wrong and we're right. There is more than enough to go around. You don't need more land for a country. When Russia invaded Crimea, they didn't need to do that. When we're having ex-Warsaw Pact nations joining our defense force in Europe, it's insanity. We're just provoking, and they're provoking, and everyone's taking sides rather than working together to survive. And right now, the biggest war of them all is the war of climate change. This will end us. And we can have all the nuclear weapons. We can hoard all the land, hoard all the money. We're going to die. If we don't get this solved real soon and work together, we're going to die. I think we've probably gone over the edge, but there's always that chance, that glimmer that we can work together. If we really work together and everyone pull together rather in different directions, we can get out of this, maybe. But I guarantee you the way we're going right now, we're not going to survive. That's all there is to it. So you can try to change the people in charge and try to vote them out and do whatever, or throw them out in other countries where it's physical violence. But most likely, most of them will stay in office. It's hard to get rid of someone once they're in, and that's just a fact. So you got to try to change your policies and try to change them. And the way to do that is to have extreme force by masses of people putting pressure on them to do that. The threat of violence in some countries, or a threat of voting out in other countries, or losing their lifestyle, is a big threat, and you can get to them that way. And the fact that some parties will lose their power and things like that, you can get to them that way. So we need to have better ideas and better people. We need to look at changes concerning climate mitigation as a good thing. We need to look and pull ahead and say, hey, this is what we need to do. And whether you believe it or not about climate change, what's the worst that can happen? You have a better environment, a better breathing environment, a better ecology around, better growing environment. Everything is for the better. So, I'm astounded. I was watching this business program on Fox television yesterday, and one of the commentators and the head anchor was denying climate change altogether. He was saying that things have not changed since 2015. There has not been any heat increase. This is insanity. People listen to this stuff and they believe it because they're saying it, rather than all the scientific data, all the evidence to the contrary. You walk outside and things are not normal as what they once were. And my thought to that person was, well, how about I take you to Phoenix, Arizona in midsummer, just drop you off? Because back in the day when I was younger, you could walk around Phoenix. You'd be hot, but you wouldn't die. Now it's life-threatening. You have to be in an air conditioning. It's very life-threatening. If you're not in your car, you're going to die. If you walk around on the street for too long, you're going to overheat. Things like that. The poor homeless people that around this country, we're the richest country in the world, and we have homeless. I mean, it's insanity. Yeah, we have people that are almost trillionaires in this country. It's a hoarding of money, a hoarding of resources. They don't need all that money. They don't need 3 yachts or 5 yachts. They don't need 20 houses. They don't need 60 cars and things like that. This is ridiculous where we are. People say, oh, it's just capitalism. They earned it. No, they didn't. This is tilting the pool table and making the laws in their benefit and making it to their benefit as to how they can hoard more money. Kick it back to the politicians. They write the laws as to how they can hoard more money. It's insanity what's going on. It's total greed. And it's no different than any so-called third world country where you have people overthrowing governments and hoarding the money there, and taking money was given to them for aid and hoarding that. It's the same idea. We have homeless in this country. We have people that are in poverty now. We've had the sharpest rise in poverty this year, or this last year, that we've ever had, evidently, even including the Depression era. So it's nuts what's going on. So, we need to let down our dogmatic defenses. We need to stop this idea that oh, sorry, there's a bus passing. We need to let go of these dogmatic ideas that, my side's right, your side's wrong, my side, this whole thing. We need to get past this and work together as a group. I've talked to people about what's going on, and it's like 3D chess. The idea is there, what's happening. Yeah, things are messed up. It's not like what it was when I was a kid. And then there's me and other people that are going, no, the evidence is saying that this is we're going towards extinction. Well, the thought process is the same for everybody. And maybe if everyone can just drop their stance and work together to get ahead and survive, maybe we can get out of this. But how do you convince some people that believe there's no change going on, that it's well worth their while and worth their children's while and their grandchildren to actually do something about what is happening? So there's enough in the world for everybody. We could, I've said to my wife, we got all this stuff. We're dropping bombs like there's no tomorrow on people that disagree with us. Why don't we bomb them with cinder blocks and lettuce, Build houses, build schools, things like that. Why are we wasting money trying to blow the crap out of them to get them to love you? You can't get someone to love you by punching them in the face. All right? So either nuke them and be done with it, nuke us and be done with it, or start working together, building up society and sharing the resources. This is absolutely crazy what's happening. So as I said, just capitalism, it's just capitalism. That's an excuse. That's just BS. It's an excuse to hoard, things like that. One thing we can do immediately, these politicians, and they're not going to do it, but if they would, if you put pressure on them, you got groups that are saying, get off oil immediately. Well, that's kind of hard to do, until we get the technology and the resources that's being hoarded right now together to do research and development and actually go forward with mass transit and electrification and whatever other means we need to do to get out of this. We need to end subsidies to the fossil fuel industry. This is a no-brainer. This is $7 trillion a year, which comes down to $19 billion a day worldwide is given to the fossil fuel industries to do whatever, line their pockets, explore for oil, things like that. And I guarantee you, you'd find me a poor oil exec, and I'll show you an idiot. These guys are just raking in the money, the top echelon, things like that. And they are the ones who are the total denialists that are forcing the politicians by take this money and so you can write my laws. But the politicians are corrupted by it all. They can't get out of it. They won't get out of it. So it's $19 billion a day going to the fossil fuel industry. That's $792 million a minute, or an hour rather. It's $13 million a minute. It's $2 million a second. I could be off on my numbers. You do the division. $7 trillion per year. That's accurate. So do your division, break it down, see how much per second it is. It's astounding how much. $2 million a second is boom, boom, da, 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 da. And the amount of this sentence, they just gave away $10 million. So, is this normal? This is not cool. But yeah, we can't help a homeless person have a shelter for $156. Or we're kicking people out in Maui and Hawaii. They're kicking them out of the hotels. Now, Joe Biden said, well, we'll be there all along for you. Well, they're already kicking the people out of the hotels. It's been a month and a half since the fires in Maui, and now they're kicking people out of hotels. What are they supposed to do? Come on. There's not enough money for this, but we can blow the crap out of some brown person half a world away riding a bicycle. This is nuts. So, we're not taxing the rich the way they should be taxed. Again, we're writing the laws tilted in their favor. Yet we're getting killed. I'm getting killed in taxes. I can't make it on what's going on. This is nuts what's happening as far as how much in taxes we have to pay. We're slowly being strangled to death economically. And in fact, it's no longer slowly. So we have passed the event horizon. With a black hole, there's this event horizon where you're not sure when you enter the black hole gravitational field. We're already past that. We're in the black hole right now. And this is a maelstrom going on. It's a big circle. And whether we're able to get out of it, I don't know. But we're not going to get out of it on the path we're on. That's a guarantee. So climate change is happening right now. We're in the black hole. We got to struggle to get out of this. We got to work together. So the question is, can we get out of it due to greed, corruption, and sinister decisions? I don't know. A lot of it comes down to you and me making the right decisions and deciding to work with those people who we see as being different around the world or in our own country. The right wing, left wing, whatever. I don't see any left wingers at all. I only see middle right and far right as far as goes. They're warmongers. Both parties right now are warmongers. They need to be changed from within and without. So if you're in those parties, you're culpable as to what's going on and why we're going to die. Okay, so we need to struggle as much as we can to get out of this situation. Talk to your friends, talk to your families, talk to strangers, talk to whoever else, and realize that you're not much different from each other. So if we don't get out of this, we're going to suffer like the previous 5 extinctions. End of all life on Earth. That's it. That's all she wrote. So these grievances against the other side, are in your heart and in your head. Okay, a lot of this is just mental masturbations as to what's going on. There's nothing that different from anyone else. We all want to survive. You look out on this road that's Route 30 here, you got cars going both directions. They're actually doing something similar. Whether they're not asking each other, hey, do you believe in Trump? Do you believe in Biden or whatever? No, they're going about their life and going to their jobs or going home. Everyone has the same basic denomination in that this is what they want. They want happiness, have enough money to get by, and try to survive and not cause problems, care for each other, care for the ones you love, and try to broaden your scope. But a lot of people have retreated and just have grievances against the other side, and it's all mental. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with each other. It just requires a little bit of catching up as to what's happening, being told, no, this is not happening. Like the commentator was saying, there's been no change since 2015. I could have walked on the set, talked to him for 10 minutes if he would have listened, and showed him why things have changed since 2015. Or we could do the physical thing and just drop his butt off at some hot place and go, try to find your way home. You're not getting air conditioned for the next 4 hours. Good luck in surviving. So it's your heart and your head, and we're all in the same lifeboat, and it's called Lifeboat Earth. We're sinking together. We're either going to sail along wonderfully together, or we're going to sink together. A boat divided against itself will not float. A house divided against itself will not stand, as they said in the Civil War. Abe Lincoln. So I look forward to seeing you next week. That's number 253, and I'll catch you then.